YouTube and everybody in Twitch chat. Welcome to another video. I'm Bear. I'm here to explain and share my new tier list. So if you didn't know, on March 8th, 2023, version 2.3.0, with the Wave 4 DLC dropped, and there was adjustments. Nintendo didn't say what it was, but there was adjustments to many characters. So this is the updated tier list. So if you watch my old video I was wearing the same shirt, so whatever. Don't ignore that. But think of this like a Mogul Mail, but for Mario Kart Deluxe. So we're gonna go through. I'm gonna show you my tier list. I'm gonna show you just an overview of this. We're gonna do my own tier list for characters, carts and bikes, the wheels, and the gliders. I will show you what the changes are, and I'll show you some example builds. And lucky for you, all this will be in the description below. And if you're in Twitch chat, everything is already uploaded in my Mario Kart guidebook, so you can see there on there. So you can just see there. So spoilers, you can see that early, but it's fine. So we're gonna go through it here into our reaction itself. Now, as you see, this is the thumbnail, clickbait. It worked, I guess. But either way, now this is the actual tier list I have for Mario Kart Deluxe version 2.3.0. Now, really quickly, beforehand I had an S, A, B, C, D. Now with the buffs, everybody that was below a certain weight class, which is everybody below Waluigi, Roy, Donkey Kong, they used to be S tier. Everybody got bumped up, like a little bit significantly, were the point where any combo build, and I'll show you the kart changes in a little bit, has essentially made it a very level playing field. So, in terms of SS tier, in my opinion, right now, the best in the game, was one weight class that really outperforms what I've seen from both playing and both observing other players, much higher level than me, in Free For All 66. Again, this is for 150cc. The Rosalina, Link, and King Boo weight class. They are, I would say, SS tier. They're phenomenal. They work really well. Now, when it comes to S tier, it is so massive. I did break it up kind of into an S+, S minus, but really, in reality, these are all really good depending on the build you make. I will show you a Mario Kart build website that we found on Reddit that's been linked to my guidebook before, so you should be able to see that. Now, you have the whole bunch of character classes in here. Keep in mind, I would say that this top row here, from Luigi to Dry Bowser, and including the medium me, this is a medium me, and this is a heavyweight me, so if you change your me's height and weight, you can get different stats. So the medium me is the same weight class as Ludwig and Mario. I say this whole top row here can really easily compete with this row as well. Even these are still viable, and even these are still viable, given that they've upped the weight class stats a lot for these baby characters, where they're pretty much outperform or on par with the other former baby characters that were really good. For some reason, they randomly buffed the crap out of Dry Bones, Baby Luigi, Baby Mario, and then Baby Me itself. Now, in an A class, the reason why these are here, their stats were boosted, but I found that when I play with these characters, I still struggle among the other classes. Not to say that they're bad. Again, really, anybody can win now, in my opinion. It's much more of a playing field. So that's my tier list for the characters. Hopefully that helps. Now, let's actually get to the karts itself. Karts-wise, things were changed. So this is the new kart and bike tier list. So there is SS tier, S tier, A tier, and B tier. How I see this. Now, this is based on mini turbo, which is basically the mini turbo stat, how fast you can get a mini turbo and how long it lasts. Also accelerations and overall bumps of stats in here. Now, I do have these images where we talk about the character changes. This is also linked into the guidebook, and the changes that happened to the said karts and the buffs that they had. So the red indicates the changes in them and everything else. So, like, all these are here. You can see them later on. But in terms of the karts, bikes, and everything else, Teddy Buggy, Cat Cruiser, Comet Bike, Yoshi Bike, Biddy Buggy, and Mr. Scooty are pretty much the top of the class. Those are the 6 best vehicles in the game, in my opinion, as of right now. If you are a person that likes to drift similar to Mario Kart Wii, or inside drift, is what people like to call it, Comet and Yoshi Bike are the bikes you want to use for the best performing stats you can have. They basically outside drift you have wider drifting, inside drift super tight turns. Now in terms of S class, things got bumped up. So I've seen the Mach 8, the Sports Coupe, the Ink Striker perform very well at high level. I think Wiggler. So Wiggler and Standard Bike, Flame Rider, and the Mercedes were not changed, but they're still pretty good. But I don't think they're the top in the class. I used to use Standard Bike, but I've actually swapped to Teddy Buggy, partly because I go by Bear, so it's kind of a no-brainer. So I'd use Teddy Buggy, but I actually used Teddy Buggy way back when in Mario Kart Wii, when I played the game for fun. And then also again in S tier, they did buff Standard Kart for some reason, and I forget what this one's called, and then there's Mercedes. So these are, well, I would say the S class here. In A tier, most of these are pretty well performing. They're not bad. You can still keep up with the general audience. We're given the wheel set combo that you can have. The most significant thing that was bumped up, which is really odd, was the Blue Falcon, and then for some reason they bumped up the Prancer. They did have a lot of weird buffs randomly, but these all perform pretty well. Again, if you want to see any changes in the stats, I have these in the guidebook. I'll link it in chat. It'll be below. This is pulled from the Japan blog website. For some reason, anything in red here is what they changed. So it's kind of wild that they pretty much significantly moved those up. Now B tier, these aren't bad. These are for fun. Again, the only thing you gotta know, they did boof up a couple of these stuff, but even Badwagon and Mercedes kind of boofed up, but they're still bad. I still wouldn't recommend them. So if you really want to have the worst kart in the game, yeah, the Mercedes GLA is quite bad. And I would say these are specifically for racing, not necessarily for time trialing. I would say specifically for racing with other people. Thanks, Onion, for asking that question. Now, next up is the wheels. So the wheels did get changed. They had some stats changes as well. Surprisingly enough, basically what they did was they beefed up anything that was below roller wheels. They didn't touch the roller wheels. Remember, the blue and the red roller wheels are the same. They are the same stats. They're still king here. I would say they're still SS tier. They have phenomenal mini turbo acceleration, handling everything else. They're still great. I still use them. I still like them. Things I got beforehand, I used to have the leaf tires and the button tires because these were the same. They're still S tier to me, but these other wheels got bumped up recently that are actually pretty good. It's insane that they buffed the Mercedes tire, the standard, and the blue standard, and cushion and sponge. Cushion used to be a meme tire. Like, we used to use it as just a joke as in the game. And I found out how much they bump it up. Here's the stats for the roller wheels, just so you can see here. Now, it is significant how much they bumped it up to the point where they're pretty much on par with the leaf and button tires. Like, it's insane to me. I've actually seen time trials and world record runs have cushion tires on. So it's wild that these are each actually viable, but these are a very safe class. I think any of these top two rows here are pretty good. The next rows, these are fine. These three share the same. These three share the same, and these three share the same stats. Although overall they're kind of clunky. I like that. I think the Hot Monster tire rules and the Blue Monster tire are kind of weird. They're all right. The slim tires, just to note that some people do use them. They like the speed that they have on them. And then I would say B tier is the gold tires, slim. Even though they buff these, they're still kind of a bit off. And then Onion was saying, I feel like slim should be S. I would say slim tires could probably be up in S. The only reason why I didn't put it on there just for uniformity, I just kept it on here. So that's the tires. You can see the differences in the guidebook that I have linked in below. Also, any of these on there. Now, when it comes to gliders, the gliders are unchanged. For some reason, no one touched them at all. So again, I did update it to make sure that they're all the same. This is the gliders tier list. Ooh, yeah, pretty much. All four of these have the same stats. So if you're looking to something that you have unlocked if you just bought the game and you're like, I just bought the game. You have parachute unlocked. You have red rollers unlocked. You should have standard cart unlocked. You're good. Like, you're good. Congratulations. And then you can pick any character you want, and you're solid. You're solid in the game. You should be fine. But yeah, that's the glider tier list. But yeah, they're ass, but like, it's fine. I kept in here just because they don't make that much of a difference itself. But again, these are the stat differences. They will be in the guidebook here. Now, in terms of the builds themselves, so if you don't know, there is a website called Mario Kart Builder. You can get this will be in the guidebook. Now, I kind of want to show you the differences of what changed per se. So let's look at the past was Waluigi on the Wild Wiggler with Azure Rollers with Paper Glider. All right, I'm gonna zoom in a little bit so you can see this a little better. As you can see, that's the stats for this. Now let's compare this to what we've seen on the field, which is Rosalina, Teddy Buggy, we'll just say those rollers, and this. So, as you see here, just this alone, the stats-wise, specifically with the mini turbo, as you can see, this is a 4.75, and this is a 4.25, and then acceleration is pretty much the same, which is 4.25. But overall, the mini turbo stat is the most important stat you can have. In addition, it has greater invincibility of about 2x, which is not a huge deal, but in a lobby which you have a lot, get hit a lot in the game, having some sort of invincibility is good. Has the same weight. Yes, it does have a little bit less speed in terms of ground speed. It's 0.25, but the mini turbo makes up for it because you're more likely in this game to be drifting and to get your mini turbos that get basically faster and last longer. This is ideal on here. Now, one funny build that actually for some reason works now is Mario with standard tires and a standard cart with we'll just say Animal Crossing. This build actually works. I've seen people use this build and do fine, and it's because it's very great overall now. Even with the standard tires, you can swap it out for the roller wheels, and you have a better mini turbo. But even with standard tires, this is still viable in the grand scheme of things, which is hilarious to see. But one of the other common builds I've seen is people will use Luigi, and then they would use roller, and sometimes they'd use Ink Striker or Splat Buggy. But for the sake of what I've seen before, I've seen this, which is Ink Striker, Luigi, Road Roller Wheels, and Paper Glider. Still keeps on par. As you can see, this build basically has the same stats as Rosalina on this build itself. So it's preference, and again, handling is a little different. The acceleration is better on Rosalina, but I've seen this build as well. So those are a couple example builds. Hopefully this helps explain a bit. Please let me know what you think, and hopefully this video helped you out. Again, this is 2.30 update, so this will probably change with 2.40 whenever Wave 5 drops, assuming that they're going to add 2 more or 3 more characters next wave. But, alright, thanks for watching, YouTube. Bye-bye. Alright, guys.